Welcome back, babies.
My name is Jace, the number 102 Dalmatians defender. And I'm guest starring today as Brailee.
Guest starring every week, I guess. Some like to call it co-hosting, you know, when people are equals and stuff, but...
Yeah. Still credited as guest starring, so... But, what a day we got ahead of us.
What a thrilling 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on how long Jace can talk about 102 Dalmatians.
Yeah, but I could talk about it for a long time, I bet.
I think you probably can. But before we get into our thrilling, amazingly well-produced movie today, I have our unruly segment. And this question comes courtesy of my husband, Jace. If you could get away with any crime, what would it be? What would you commit? One time.
One time.
One time, one crime. You get away with it.
I was going to say tax evasion, but...
Okay.
If I could only do that for a year, that would be kind of not as good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we were thinking along the same lines because I was like, embezzling funds. Getting the millions.
Yeah. Insider trading or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Mostly anything to get me more money.
Yeah. It's always going to be, like, just more money, unfortunately.
Like a diamond heist.
But, yeah, I'd rob Fort Knox or something.
Yeah. And then I would make sure that fencing that stolen item is included in that one crime so I can get away from it. So it's not two separate crimes. The robbery is not a crime, and the fencing of the robbery / selling of it is not a crime. They are one and the same.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure that they don't get you that way.
Yeah. That's some, like, monkey paw stuff where it's like, oh, you robbed the most valuable diamond, but you can't sell it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to get monkey pawed.
Nope. Well, that was my question.
You would just rob stuff?
Rob stuff or embezzle funds.
Answer.
Get monies.
Yeah. If it had nothing to do with money, like if I was already rich, I guess I would like bring in like an endangered animal or like some animal I couldn't have as a pet. That would be fun.
Oh. I mean, I think you just have to move to Texas or Florida and then you probably can have it. It's probably not even illegal then.
You know, you're right.
That would be a waste of your one crime that you could commit. Just move states.
Yeah, you're right. America's crazy because in one state, something's illegal, and then in the state over, maybe not.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Wild.
Thanks for that segment, Brailee.
You're welcome. Thanks, Ty.
That was really eye-opening. Yeah.
All right, Jace. I made sure that it wouldn't be one that dragged on too long because I know that you are just so excited to get into this.
Oh. Yeah.
So
we watched a movie called 102 Dalmatians. And no, I didn't accidentally say 102. That is a movie that exists.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know it existed before Brailee told me about it.
Yeah.
but
I regret it.
We watched
I regret telling you that this exists.
And first things first.
Wait. Before we do this,
What?
I'm looking at the Wikipedia right now. And I searched 102 Dalmatians. And at the top, it has this little disclaimer. And it says, not to be confused with 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Exactly. This is the live action sequel to the 101 Dalmatians live action film.
It is.
Not the animated 101 Dalmatians film.
Correct.
Yep.
All right.
But did you see the description of this movie on Disney Plus?
Yeah, like Oddball goes to find her spots or some crap like that.
Yep.
That was not
This is not what this movie's
not
about.
At all what that movie is about.
Oddball's finding her spots is like a subplot, like
like a subplot that gets resolved in the last like 45 seconds of this whole movie. I can't. I remember because I couldn't remember. I have seen this movie before, and so when we went to go watch it on Disney Plus, I mean, it came out in 2000. I remember watching it as a kid. There were only like certain parts that we will talk about that I like for sure remember, because literally halfway through this movie I was like, maybe I've never seen this before, and then certain things happened and I was like, no, I have seen this movie. But since I didn't remember very much and it gave me that description of like Oddball goes to find her spots, I was like, oh, that's a different plot than I kind of remember it being. And then I was like, oh no, it's not, because that's not the plot. That was a joke.
Yeah. I feel like you could remove Oddball from this movie and
nothing would change.
Barely anything would change?
Nothing would change.
Oddball's not even the most important Dalmatian in this movie, I'd say.
I guess, though, okay, we'll talk about it when we get closer. Maybe it matters. I'm not going to lie. I think I blacked out for a good 20 minutes of it, so I might have missed that during this portion of it.
Disney Plus is lying to you.
Mm-hmm. Very misleading.
This movie, I guess the premise of this movie is that Cruella has been reformed and has a parole officer that owned one of the puppies that she kidnapped.
I think so, right? Dipstick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Dipstick is one of the original 101 dogs. Or I guess he's one of the original of Pongo's dogs.
Mm-hmm. And Purdy's.
Yeah, and Purdy. So yeah, she, through Pavlovian science, gets...
Not just Pavlovian science, Jace. What is the name of the doctor?
Ivan Pavlov.
Like, literally, his name is Dr. Pavlov in the movie, which is clearly set in, like, 2000s London. When this dude died in 1936. They, like, didn't even try.
He was Russian, right?
The real one or the guy in the...
So, the real Pavlov.
Yeah, he was Russian.
So they sent her off to Russia to get brainwashed.
So dumb.
Into loving dogs. Mm-hmm. Honestly, this part's pretty funny. And I thought this movie would be a lot more funny throughout because of this first part. And then Cruella's reformed. She likes dogs now because of the miracle psychology of Ivan Pavlov. Mm-hmm. And she goes to court and gets granted parole, except that if she does any crimes, like dog napping, all of her remaining funds, which is £8 million, will be donated to a dog charity.
By the way, £8 million in US dollars is $10.4 million.
Yeah.
And
a lot of money either way.
Well, even then, though. Okay. It'd be more like close to 19 million today.
Dang.
Yeah.
Inflation's crazy.
Inflation's bonkers.
Cruella gets granted parole. Yay. And her parole officer, like we stated before, owns a dog named Dipstick, which, great name for a dog.
Do you know why, though?
Nope.
His tail. Did you see his tail?
Oh,
it's like half
is it all
black. No, it's like half 3/4 black. So it looks like his tail is a dipstick.
Oh, yeah,
it took me a while to figure out
sense.
Because I was like, I do love the name Dipstick, but not for the same reason I'm pretty sure this person does. And then I saw his tail and I was like, yep, that's not the same reason I like this name.
Yeah, because I'd always grown up like dipstick is what you call somebody that's stupid.
Some dummy.
Yeah.
Yep. I call my dog.
Yeah.
I call my dog a dipstick all the time. That is not her name.
You dipstick. But Dipstick is the dog of Alice Evans, who's is that her name?
I think that's the actress's
Oh
name.
wait, that's the actress's
Isn't
name.
it Claire or something?
It's Chloe.
Chloe?
Yeah, Chloe Simon.
Chloe, okay.
Yeah. So, played by Alice Evans. So, Dipstick and her are watching the news, and it's like, oh, Crow's been released. And then Chloe realizes that, oh no, Cruella's one of my people that I have to parole.
Parolees.
Because I'm a parole officer. Parolees, yeah. Yeah. And she's like, no, I'll just refuse. But then Dipstick, like, puts his paw on her hand. And it's like... Dipstick can't talk in this movie, thankfully.
Hudson was so upset that the dogs did not talk in this movie.
Was he?
When we started watching, he goes, the dogs are gonna talk! And I was like, I truly cannot remember. I wouldn't be surprised. And then they never talked. And he's like, those dogs didn't talk.
Yeah. With how annoying the parrot character was, I'm glad that the dogs didn't talk.
He was the worst. We'll get to him. Yeah, keep going. But yeah, Dipstick, through the power of telepathy and the warmth of his paw.
It's like, you should forgive Cruella. Or something. Like, you should help her.
And Chloe's like, oh my gosh, Dipstick, you're so right. Even though you literally just said no words. And I can't talk to you.
You're so smart,
but yeah.
Dipstick. You're not a dipstick.
Yeah, what an oxymoron.
So yeah, Chloe kind of begrudgingly accepts her parole officership of Cruella. And then a lot of stuff that doesn't matter happens.
And then the movie's over.
Yeah. This is one of the problems I was thinking about when, like, having to summarize this movie, is that, like, most of the movie doesn't matter.
97.43% of this movie does not matter, and that other, like, 2 point whatever just sucks. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
All in all, not good.
Yeah, for sure. I guess the next important part is that, like, there's this dog daycare thingamajig called Second Chance Dog, whatever. Um, and it's run by a dude named Kevin and one of Chloe's parolees. And they're going through a rough time where the bank's gonna close on them because they don't have no money. But then Cruella, having her new dog lovingness, decides, I'm gonna go help these people and buy the dog daycare thing and help them, take care of dogs. And she does this, and there's a cool little montage about her fixing up the place and her doing dog shows and stuff, and yeah.
Sponsoring dog shows. Her name is all over everything.
Yeah. Do you think Cruella could recover from being canceled? Like initially? Do you think she could rebound with this?
Yeah.
I think if you got enough
money, you can come back from whatever.
Yeah, enough cultural power, you can do it.
We've seen that happen in real life, so yes.
Yeah, for sure. Though it is pretty bad, kidnapping dogs. So yeah, and then the next important part is Cruella goes up to meet with her parole officer, and as she's doing that, we cut to Ivan Pavlov, who one of like his assistants or something is like watching the news or whatever, and Big Ben starts to ring, and all of the Pavlov's like animals can hear it, and Pavlov's been doing some crazy stuff where he made like birds and cats love each other, and some other
birds and cats, a dog and a rabbit, right?
Oh yeah, a dog and a rabbit.
And there was another one. There were 3. I don't remember.
I don't know.
But like things that are naturally enemies.
Big Ben starts playing on the TV, and then all the animals hear it, and then they start going crazy, and then it turns out that they all started turning on each other again. They all reverted back to their natural impulses.
The cat just walks out with like a feather in his mouth.
Yeah. But you know what? To the credit of this movie, it was pretty funny, this part. Just how wacky all of Pavlov's science was. Chloe, the parole officer, her office is like right next to Big Ben, and she has the window open, and it starts to ring, and then Cruella reverts back to evil, reverts back to wanting to go kill dogs. I like when her hair is all poking out.
Like with every ding dong, her like hair is like bling, bling, bling. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then all of London is just spotted. Hudson was like staring at the TV. He's like, "What is happening?" I was like, I don't know how to explain to you that she's hallucinating. Like, how do you explain that to a 3-year-old?
Yeah, movies are so... Whenever movies are doing something abstract, you as a kid, you're like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening? So yeah, she sees everything as Dalmatian in London. And then she's like, oh, we gotta go kill some dogs. My henchman. I don't know if he was in the live-action 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah, Alonso.
Alonso, yeah.
Obviously in love with Cruella.
Yeah.
It was a weird dynamic. Didn't like that.
But then he learns
that she's the worst. Yes, he does.
Yeah, took him a little too long, but so then Cruella goes to this one fashion guy,
Jean-Pierre. Isn't that his name?
Jean-Pierre. Yeah. Which, I don't know why she really needs his help.
Because he's a known, like, fur person. Like, that's his whole thing, is that he does
the design.
Fur. Because, like, at first, when she was still under her Pavlovian influence, she was like, let me go and protest him. Just like a teensy weensy protest. And Chloe's like, you're not allowed to be around fur. And she's like, but to protest the horrible thing that's going on. And then she got ding-donged out of that and then was like, I gotta go find him. He can help me make a fur coat.
No longer an activist.
Yeah. He's also the worst.
Yeah.
That hair.
And he has like an accent, and he calls puppies poopies, which
and it's like
the movie thinks is the funniest
joke in the world. It is the biggest plot line in this movie is the fact that Jean-Pierre calls puppies poopies. It's horrible.
It's horrible. It's not funny.
It's not.
Did Hudson find this funny?
This movie or calling them poopies?
Does he understand the word poopies?
No, he didn't get it.
So yeah.
And then later when he cried, which we'll get to that point too. Yeah, we'll get to that part.
Yeah. But Cruella, when she meets him, is wearing like this dragon dress.
It's actually kind of cool. She looked really good.
Yeah, it's actually awesome.
It was like the first time that she looked like super awesome. All of her other stuff just like looks ridiculous because it's all black and white, and then her hair is just crazy. But like this dragon outfit, she's in red. She looks dope, and her hair is like under her like big hat, but like still done up, kind of crazy. And her mask is super cool. She looks real cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I was still like, okay, I'm still holding out hope that this movie can be entertaining throughout. But yeah.
Jace, that was like 45 minutes into the movie. It took us forever to get there.
I know. But I was still giving it the benefit of the doubt. The first half is okay. The second half is, it just goes. It goes. So she enlists Pierre to help her. Jean-Pierre, whatever. And I don't know. I guess the owner of the Second Chance dog daycare thing is named Kevin, and he thinks Chloe, the parole officer, is hot, so he asks her out, and they kind of fall in love a little bit on the first date. And then Cruella steals some Dalmatians from a random Londoner, right?
Some from a random Londoner, some from... Yeah, I mean, they're stealing a bunch, but yeah, we just see Alonzo stealing them from a random Londoner.
Okay, yeah. So she then puts these Dalmatians in the... what do you call it?
In the Second Chance
in the daycare
place, yeah. It's not a daycare, it's a rescue.
Yeah. I couldn't think of the words, so I just kept calling it daycare. In the rescue, which then the cops come. And
because they got tipped off.
The cops, yeah, they got tipped off, which they have a warrant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know much about the legal system, and I definitely don't know much about English legal systems, but I feel like you need more than just like an anonymous tip to get a warrant to search a business, right?
I think so. If any of the cop dramas I have watched are to say anything about it, yes.
I mean, like, ideally, that's how it would
Right.
work, you know?
But yeah, they show up with a warrant.
So, yeah. They search the premises, and they find a bunch of Dalmatians there in a hacky sack. And...
It's bigger than a hacky sack.
What is a hacky
A hacky sack is like the beanbag that you kick around in a circle and you play hacky sack.
Yeah. It's like a potato
sack, like a flour sack, yeah.
Yeah. It's the sack that you use to, like, kidnap people, like,
and to run your, like, potato race at the fair at the end of the year at school.
Yeah, exactly. So the cops find it, and Cruella eventually comes there, and Kevin's like, why would I want to steal puppies? And then she's like, it's because you want to frame me for stealing these puppies, so then you would get the $8 million, because remember, if she does crimes, the $8 million will go to
a dog charity.
And a dog charity with, I think it's in like a particular like area of like the city or whatever, which Second Chance Rescue is the only dog charity in that area, so it would automatically go to them. So that's the fake motive that Cruella gives the cops, that Kevin would do this. Kevin gets arrested.
And Chloe's like, oh, I thought you loved me and your dogs after our one date.
Yeah. Chloe's like, you're a piece of crap.
And she's like, I'm so sorry, Cruella.
I'm Team Cruella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm totally Team Cruella. So Team Cruella.
I've been Team Cruella day one.
And after I ate spaghetti with you.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay, because you have to go back to this, because the date montage. Because, okay, so Kevin brings his 97 dogs to Chloe's apartment, and they leave them all there to watch a movie while they go on their date. And so they're watching Lady and the Tramp, all of the dogs, and the parrot that thinks he's a dog.
Yeah.
And then simultaneously we're doing, like, what are they, cutscenes? We're watching parts of Lady and the Tramp, and then we're watching part of the date
back and forth
that Kevin and Chloe are on, and they're eating spaghetti, and then Lady and the Tramp are eating spaghetti, and it was so stupid.
Mm-hmm. The Tramp gives Lady a meatball, and then Kevin gives Chloe a meatball.
It hurt me. Literally, this whole movie, I was just like, is this almost done? It's been so long. It just keeps going. I was talking to Mom and Dad. I was like, I wanted this movie to be over for an hour and 45 minutes. Friends, this movie is only like an hour and a half long. Somehow, I wanted this movie to be over longer than the movie actually was. I always wonder how people like Glenn Close end up in these types of movies.
Yeah. Because Glenn Close is like the only performer that is actually good. Maybe Jean-Pierre. He's given it a lot, but
it's not good.
Yeah, Glenn Close is like the only performance I actually like in this movie.
Glenn Close and Oddball, baby.
Yeah. Which, one more compliment. I feel like I'm giving this movie a lot of compliments for some reason. The Oddball is like computer generated in some parts. And it doesn't look terrible.
It doesn't look great either.
It doesn't look awful.
But, like, Oddball...
Which I expected it to.
Herself, are you saying Oddball herself is, like, completely computer-generated? Or... Because I was reading, and Oddball is played by a Dalmatian puppy, and they computer-generated, like, removing her spots.
Yeah. Oh.
But, I mean, like, obviously the part where they're on the roof and, like, she almost dies. Either that's screened or, like, it's computer-generated. Yeah. It wasn't...
She's completely computer-generated.
Horrific. But it was obviously, you were like, that's a computer-generated Oddball. That's a real Oddball.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was also 2000.
But at least when they're just removing the spots, it looks convincing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's got that going for it. Cruella then asks the parole officer over for dinner. I guess the only point that she does this is so she can trap her. Cruella has a dog given to her by her butler. And this dog guides the parole officer, Chloe, into Cruella's secret dungeon full of furs and stuff. And also has the picture of the drawing of her Dalmatian design that she wants to do. And Chloe's like, she hasn't given this all up.
Ah.
And then Cruella's like, yeah, you're right, sucker. And spawns behind her and then traps her into the dungeon. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then Cruella and her goons steal all of what's her face's
Chloe's puppies.
What's her name? Chloe's puppies. Yep.
In the meantime, Kevin's
Also,
breaking out of jail, which he was thrown into with all of his dogs and his parrot. They are in jail with him on his cot. I literally cannot stand this movie.
They arrested everybody.
Everybody except for also not the other dude.
Yeah, the parole.
Who is an ex-convict, which, like...
That works there.
You shouldn't be just arresting him just because he's an ex-convict. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But, like, you arrested the dogs?
Yeah, you shouldn't be profiling.
What is happening?
Yeah, they arrested the dogs over the other human working there. But
correct. Because they were obviously co-conspirators.
It's fair because this parrot does help them escape.
This parrot.
So...
What is his name? Waddlesworth?
Yeah.
He's the worst.
Yeah, Waddlesworth is annoying. Just constantly screaming and talking.
Thinks he's a dog.
Thinks he's a dog, yeah. Thinks he's a Rottweiler. It's annoying.
Very.
Most parrots are annoying. In movies. Except Gilbert Godfrey in Aladdin.
That's true. Iago is a treasure.
It's funny, actually. So she kidnaps all the puppies, takes them to like a baking place where you make cakes, I guess. It's a sweatshop owned by Pierre Jean, where he has a bunch of immigrants working there. Yep. He talks about how awesome it is that he doesn't have to pay them a lot of money.
Because he's the worst. Also.
Yeah, he is the worst. Yeah. So they're getting ready to chop up the puppies. Stuff. And how did Kevin and Chloe find the puppy mill? Wait, because they chased them down on the train.
I've already blocked out so much of this from my mind, apparently.
Yeah. I have no idea.
I also don't know. But friends, don't watch it just to find out. Not worth it.
Yeah, we'll just skip
Don't
over
do
that.
it. Somehow they found them. It's a 2000 movie.
Yep.
Where Kevin got sent to jail with all of his dogs. Who knows how they found him?
Yep. So they find Pierre and Cruella, and they're trying to thwart her, and then they go to try to...
Oh, they found the ticket. Remember, Lapel lost... His name is also not Jean-Pierre, or it is like Jean-Pierre Lapelt or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
His name is Lapelt because they're real clever. Because pelts, yeah. They found his ticket to Paris that fell out of his pocket while he was stealing the puppies from Chloe's house.
Oh, yeah. They do go to Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, they find them. They get captured by Cruella and Pierre because they're dumb.
Yep.
And then they find a way to help the puppies escape because they're locked in there with them. And Oddball's helping them escape and stuff. And then Cruella sees Oddball and is like, oh, I gotta kill this puppy. And then, which leads her through this factory for making cakes, I believe.
Yep.
And a lot of crap happens.
This is the part where we had to pause it for 5 minutes because Hudson was crying so hard.
She gets covered in batter.
She gets covered in batter.
Thrown into the oven.
She looks insane. And she's trying to go after Oddball, who's like also stuck in the batter. And Hudson lost his mind. She looks crazy. And she's like trying to crawl towards Oddball. And I swear to you, Jace, he goes, ah, ah. And then he just keeps screaming and gets louder and louder and then just starts bawling. So I had to pause the movie. He had to come sit with me. We sat there for like 5 minutes, and I was like, do you need to not watch the rest of it? And he goes, no, I'm okay. And I was like, okay, I'm going to turn it back on, but if it gets too scary again, let me know. He goes, okay. And he was able to finish it.
Wow.
I'm a terrible mother because honestly, I was just laughing the whole, like, not to his face. I'm better than that. But I was holding him and I was like, this is really funny because this kid loves Star Wars. Jace, we watch Star Wars all the time. There's like far scarier stuff in Star Wars. But
I don't think so.
She does look like a freak. She looks real scary.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I could see how this would scare a kid. Then she gets thrown into the oven, which I thought that she was just going to die.
Okay, so we're watching this. Ty has never seen this movie before. And he's like, when they go into the bakery place and all of this is happening and she gets put into the mixer and it starts swirling her around, he's like, she'd be dead now. And I was like, yes, obviously, because, like, she wouldn't just be mixed up like that. I was like, plus, she now would have drowned because she, like, gets done upside down in it as well. And then...
There were, like, 3 moments I thought... I legitimately thought that they were going to kill her in this movie. So
she's in the mixer. She's basically drowned in baking mix. But no, obviously not. She should have been chopped up. I don't even know why they were chopping things. That doesn't make any sense. It was cake batter. Why were you chopping anything? That makes no sense. Anyway, it was just for the drama. And then they like send her into the oven and she gets baked into an entire cake and still lives. And I was like, at the beginning of the montage, I was like, I am 98% positive that she gets baked into this cake. And Ty goes, and lives? And I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, she 100% lives through this. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, you know.
She's got scaly skin.
Ridiculous. As is literally everything else about this movie.
Yeah. As she gets baked up, she pops out with a bunch of crap on her.
Mm-hmm.
And
the puppies all spray her with frosting. It's the dumbest thing.
Yeah. And then what happens to her? Does she even get arrested?
Yeah, she gets arrested. She's like, she and Lapelt are both arrested and thrown into the back of the truck. She's still in a cake.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. And then the movie's ending, and then Spot is like jumping off something, and they're like, "Oh, no, don't do that, Spot."
Oddball.
Oddball. And then Oddball jumps to catch her. They're like, "Oh," and then they're like, "Oh, wait, she's growing a spot." Mm-hmm. Like, yay!
Yep. And they did inherit.
Chloe.
Second Chance did inherit Corella's 8 million pounds. We see that happen at the end.
Yep. They're filthy rich now. Kevin and Chloe are
smooching.
I guess, yeah. A relationship, and movie ends. I think that's it.
Movie ends, and you lost an hour and a half of your life for nothing.
I certainly gained a lot. I'm sure you did subconsciously. So yeah, what'd you hate about this movie, Brailee? Why are you such a
everything?
hater?
It was horrific, like you said. Okay. So, I may have a few opinions. The plot line is absolutely bananas, and like.
Yeah.
None of it makes sense. Like, you can have a bananas plot line and, like, still kind of make it make sense. I'm trying to think of a movie that does that. I don't know. I can't think of one right now.
Kind of like Barbie.
Yeah.
Maybe like Emperor's New Groove.
Oh my gosh, we literally just watched that yesterday. I love that movie so much. Yes. Like, those are absolutely redonkulous plot lines. Fantastic movies. Like, oh my gosh, Emperor's New Groove is so good. But, like, this also just threw in so much stuff. Like you said, there are so many things that happen that absolutely do not matter. And why on earth is your entire synopsis of the plot something that doesn't even happen? Like, Oddball does not go in chasing her spots. It's not what happens.
I mean, it kind of is what happens, but it's not what matters.
It's like the reason that she ended up on the roof of the... Like, chasing her spots is why she ended up on the roof of Chloe's building. That apparently she's bringing her 5 dogs to work with her. I hate this. I hate this plot so much. I hate this movie so much.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And also Chloe has 5 Dalmatians and lives in London.
Uh-huh.
And Dalmatians are like a super active breed. I feel like you shouldn't have 5 dogs, a full-time job, and live in a super busy city.
In a tiny apartment. And also not taking them to your office where Big Ben is chiming like crazy, because Dalmatians go deaf really easily. Like, that's like a thing. Yeah, like it's very common for Dalmatians to go deaf. Like, that's like a problem that they have. So you did not make any good decisions for your animal's health, your health. So
she is the worst.
And so, like,
the worst dog owner.
I don't know where else I was going.
Kevin should not love her.
I was ranting. What am I still ranting about?
You're just explaining what you disliked about how it was wacky, but not
but like
wacky.
Oddball. Oh yeah. So like Oddball ends up on the roof, like almost dying at Chloe's Chloe's work, because she got pushed out the window by the guy who was working on the printer, because Oddball saw the ink and was like, "Are them my spots?" and went over to look, and then got pushed out the window. That was like the only part where she's like actively, I guess, at the stupid puppet show, she also tries to do something to find her spots, but it has nothing to do with the rest of anything. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. Oddball isn't really even like a character you care about.
Not in the slightest.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So, Jace, what
Those
did
all
you
your
like
grievances?
about... No, there's more,
Oh.
but I mean, like, it's going to take me as
Yeah.
long to go through all my grievances as it just took us to go through the synopsis, because honestly, I hated all of it. The only bright spot was Cruella's outfit when she went to go initially see LaPelt, and I can't even find a screenshot of it on Google right now. And I'm upset.
It's because nobody has seen this movie.
No, because I looked for, like, her red outfit, because I forgot she wore that red outfit to her dinner. And so I was able to find that one, but...
Oh, yeah. So, let me tell you why you're wrong, Brailee.
Please, tell me. Enlighten me.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, this movie's bad.
It's just a bad movie.
I thought at the beginning it'd be kind of fun, because I think at the beginning with Ivan Pavlov and, like, Cruella having her, like, brain being reset and everything, it was kind of funny. And it was like, okay, this could turn out to be some kind of wacky, funny movie. But it's not. Especially because Kevin and Chloe, two main characters, that have no active thing that they want, really. Like, Kevin wants to be able to continue to do his business, and Cruella comes over and saves his business. That's the end of his wants. And then Chloe, I don't even know what she wants. Just to be a good parole officer, I guess?
Except for not really, because she's super prejudiced. Like,
Yeah.
here's the thing.
Which...
Did it end up that Cruella was bad again? Yes, but she really was changed.
Yes.
Technically. Until she got
Exactly.
reverted.
This is another point. Brailee, what is the theme of this movie?
People suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't change. Like, nobody changes. Everything is the worst.
The theme of this movie is to always judge someone by their past actions, and they will always be their past actions.
Yep.
Because at the beginning, it sets up Chloe as like a heart of heart parole officer that doesn't see the good in people and doesn't see the ability to change in the world. But you're like, okay, they're setting that up because Dipstick is like, oh, you should forgive Cruella and help her. So you're like, yeah, Dipstick is the, like, wise man, where Chloe is the person that needs to change in this story. And the rescue is literally called Second Chance. Kevin talks about how second chances are cool and everything. And then Cruella turns evil again. And then it's proven that actually second chances are for chumps.
Yeah. Everything sucks. She was bad. You got her money. Good for you.
Yeah.
Like, it was...
One of the last... I wrote this down. One of the last lines that said is, Cruella will always be Cruella.
It was like, this whole movie is like, kids, everybody sucks. Nobody will change.
Yep.
Sucks to
Reformation
suck.
is along.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
It was...
Which, why is Chloe a parole officer? These are, in an ideal world, these are people that are supposed to be helping people get back on their feet and become, functioning members of society again.
Right.
But she, at the beginning, is established to not believe in second chances.
Correct. Which is, like, literally what your whole job is about, ma'am. It's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many plot holes.
It's so confusing. I feel like there was an earlier version of this script that was like about her changing,
like legitimately changing.
Because otherwise, why would you set up all this garbage to completely invalidate it later?
Yeah. Well, because they could have made it that Cruella did change, that she stayed changed, and like, I don't know, maybe someone from her past or somebody who wanted to impress her. Like Lapelt himself just wanted to do this to impress her because he didn't believe that she had really changed. So he was like, I'm doing this, and Cruella could have helped, like, stop that. And then she really would have changed.
I was really interested in it because I was like, oh, the theme of the story is going to be like forgiveness and such. And I was like, okay, so that means that Cruella must be like good, or at least end good at the end of this movie. And I was really interested at how that was going to happen.
The name of this movie is I Don't Trust the Nobody. That's the theme of this movie. Yep. Everyone sucks. Nobody can change. Make a snap judgment and never change it. That's basically...
Never change it.
Which,
your first prejudice of people is correct.
Which, to be fair, like, it's not really like they made a snap judgment against Cruella. She did some really horribly terrible things that were very much so evidence-based.
Yeah, that's true.
But still.
She has been convicted of animal cruelty and also is a reckless driver.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But, like... Goodness.
I find it super interesting how, like, every other iteration of 101 Dalmatians has been, like, Cruella-centric. Because it's like, I get that it's like Cruella's the most, in 101 Dalmatians, Cruella's the most, like, memorable character, I'd say. Sure. And honestly, a really cool villain. It's really, really good. But now every other movie about 101 Dalmatians is basically the Cruella movie.
Is the original 101, like the original live action 101 Dalmatians, it's also more about Cruella, isn't it?
I haven't seen it,
I think it is.
But based on the posters, it is.
No, I think you're right. Well, because even in the original 101 Dalmatians, and I know this because Hudson and I watched it yesterday. We were homesick from church, so we watched like 4 movies yesterday. Wow. And one of them was...
I watched it too recently.
Emperor's New Groove, and the other one of the other ones was 101 Dalmatians. And then he also watched the Robin Hood, the Fox animated Robin Hood. The best Robin Hood. Mm-hmm. But yeah, but then everything else is like Cruella-centric. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's interesting. You know what we should watch soon? Is Cruella.
For the podcast?
Yeah. Do you not want to?
Not really.
Okay. That's fine. Maybe I'll just watch it soon by myself.
I guess we could.
I mean, I'm sure we'll get to it eventually.
I could talk about that movie.
Do you not like it?
I don't like that movie.
Like it all?
Yeah. It's not very good. I'm sorry.
I think I've only watched it like once, maybe twice at the very most. So, I did like it.
I think I've seen it twice.
I like the fashion stuff. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
And I just really like Emma Thompson and Emma Stone. So I think I'm just like, whatever you're in, I love it. I love you. You're perfect. Don't change.
Except that, like, Emma Stone doesn't really even go full Cruella.
Yeah, I need to watch it again.
We can't be talking about this.
No,
right
we
now.
can't. We're supposed to be talking about the trash that is 102 Dalmatians. I will tell you, I would rather watch Cruella 900 times than... Okay, so Jace. I'm sitting here watching 102 Dalmatians. And do you remember what I said about Escape from New York? That I will never watch that movie again.
Mostly. Oh,
yeah, I was sitting there and I was like, I think I would rather watch Escape from New York again than to ever watch this movie again in my entire life. Like, truthfully, I would rather not watch either ever again. But if you made me choose, it would 1000% be Escape from New York.
Yep, you're going to be loving that movie by the end of it.
But then maybe not, because then I can't watch it with my kid. No, it'd be Escape from New York. I'd rather endure that again than this.
Hudson could take it.
No, absolutely not.
It'd probably scare Hudson less than
Cruella's face.
102 Dalmatians.
So true. So crazy. Yeah. So, yeah. Basically, through an hour and a half movie, I wanted it to be over for an hour and 45 minutes. It was just not good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Our next movie better be better than this.
Yeah. This movie's not good. I'm out of points to talk about. I give it 2 thumbs down.
Yeah. I give it -3 stars.
The first 2 down.
I don't even know if that's possible, but I'm doing it. It's horrible. Don't watch it. I was telling Mom that that's the one we watched and we're recording for today. She goes, I need to go watch it. And I was like, you absolutely do not. She's like, but like, I understand it more when I've watched the movie that you've done. I was like, not worth it. I said, the whole point is that you don't have to watch it. Don't do it. Just listen to us trash it. So, I'll have to figure out whether or not she ended up watching it before. My assumption is no.
Probably not. Yeah.
Mom.
I hope she does, though.
Mom, text me and tell me.
All right. The next film we're doing is 2005's Chicken Little, so make sure to watch that.